Hey guys, welcome to the Bird Brothers, two brothers in Ohio, lifelong Eagles fans. We're going to talk some Eagles training camp because training camp determines everything about how this year is going to go. And they've been there a week, so we already know what we need to know.
Right.
It's not going to be a good year. Jalen's terrible. Uh, but anyways, this is episode 9. We appreciate you guys checking it out. Ryan, I know you've done a little bit more research and kept up on training camp a little bit more than me. What are you seeing? What's being said?
Um, yeah, so obviously we're not there. We don't have front row seats, so we can't give our own, watch and report type deal. But based off, I just kind of like just searched stuff, watched highlights that were, some of it was from like a fan's point of view on their phone, some of it was like covered by ESPN or whoever. Day one, they've slowly ramped up the time. I think kind of slowly trying to progress them. So day one was just under an hour. Day two was uh just over an hour. Then day three was an hour and a half. I think they're trying to ramp up slowly. Day one, offense looked pretty good. Probably got the best of the defense that day. And then it's basically been flipped since then. Day two and three haven't looked good offensively. We've seen flash. Miles Sanders has made a few plays. That was the big. Everyone talked about Miles Sanders was working with second team day one, and it was panic. Everyone was like, "Oh, Miles Sanders is the guy." Like that's it. And then day two and three, he's been the guy. But I like what I see, honestly, out of Gainwell and Sanders. Sanders had a few bigger runs, broke off. But from my perspective, my point of view, I not impressed with the offense. I know it's just training camp and it's only a couple of days, but like just the basics. I'm not expecting them to come out here and sling the ball around the field. We're learning it's new, new things are changing, but everything beyond 10 yards seems very hard to get. Jalen's accuracy still isn't great. He had a ball on Goddard where he had Goddard went up this, had a few steps on Avonte Maddox, and Goddard's what 6'5". So he's a big dude, and he has a slot corner who's 5'9" on him, and the ball was underthrown, and Jalen just had to lay it out there. Worst case scenario, just throw it high, like just float it out farther and let him go get it. He underthrew it, and Avonte Maddox he made a hell of a play on it, but it was underthrown, and Maddox picked it. And just kind of I'll go over like kind of that as my brief. I'm not real happy with what I've seen so far in the passing, and that could just be another thing where they're not showing their cards. We're not a lot of the plays aren't, we're not throwing the ball down the field a lot. We're not showing what we are gonna do. We're just kind of getting, a glimpse here and there. But
Sure.
So far, I'm same as I was. I'm worried that Hurts is not going to be, not going to be the guy that we think he's going to be.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. If I were gonna bet money, I would I would bet against Jalen being our guy long term.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of want to be able to see the basics, like throwing on time. Like this is what we need to do this year. Is throw the ball on time, throw the ball accurately. So it's like that's terrible quarterback play. I know that's only one play, but there's a guy open.
Yeah.
And it turns into an interception.
Yeah.
That's not good because the guy did his job. He's open, but you can't deliver the ball. You deliver it in the one place where the defense can make a play on it. And yeah, you got to be cognizant of the height difference. So I understand. I don't overreact. Like that's not my thing at all. I'm not an overreaction type of guy at all. Um, I know the defense is always, more sped up in the beginning. It takes offenses time to gel and to catch up because it's timing.
Yeah.
And I'll add, our defense is good.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
How many corners are we going to go up against like ours?
Right.
Not very many. So I don't know. I hope to see if Jalen progresses as a passer, then a lot's going to open up. But and sorry, my voice is like jacked up today, but I did see the Sanders thing, and I saw Nick Sirianni like definitively said like, "No, Miles is our guy."
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see Miles Sanders, man. He's so explosive. He's such a good talent.
Yeah.
Stay on the field and like be a I mean, he's a threat running the football if he can just stay healthy. But time will tell. I think Gainwell might be the future there
Yeah.
because I don't see the need to pay Sanders. But this is his contract year, so maybe he's
Yeah, but even I mean, I don't know what he thinks he's worth, but even if he has a breakout year, I I'm still not all on board with like, oh, we got to pay like because I don't believe in paying the running backs the big money. I mean, the guys that are, I mean, if you have someone that can go, like Christian McCaffrey had the year, 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving, you can pay him, but I'm still not going to pay him like, top receiver money and it depends on your scheme, but the schemes seem to be going in the direction of passing all across the league. So it doesn't make sense to pay a running back big money, especially when he's had his track record of not staying healthy. Sometimes he dances too much. We know he's capable of the big breakaway runs, making guys miss, but it's just not consistent enough to pay. Especially when you have a guy who like Gainwell who can step in and I think play pretty well. With our offensive line, like we've said it before, we don't need a stud running back. We just need a guy to do the basics and stay healthy. So, and that's Miles Sanders hasn't done that, but I do think he'll be day one, like he's gonna be listed as our starter, quote unquote. But like, I also think that Gainwell will probably see very similar touches if you look at the end of the year. Uh, so that's kind of my opinion, but again, they're just opinions. We don't really know what's going on behind closed doors, but yeah. So I wrote down some stats and stuff too as well. So like We'll start with Jalen. So far in the 3 days, he's 36 for 51, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks.
damn,
Yeah, not great.
3 picks,
Um,
36 to 51.
Yeah. So even like I even kind of like just randomly looked around the league at different usually I know the offense is usually a little slower, like we've said. The defense usually seems to flash a little more in training camp. But I mean around the league, it doesn't look like that. If you just pick a random team and look, which is what I kind of did. I just kind of like looked around at training camp notes, and their quarterbacks seem to be excelling more. As far as just like it's almost like backyard football. Like it's defense is tough. It's hard to stop the offense, and it's getting to that point in the NFL where it's just like offensive driven. It's very hard to cover receivers because you can't touch them. So around the league, from what I saw, it looks like quarterbacks are excelling a little more. And then Jason Kelsey even commented, I don't know if you saw that, saying that we looked like crap, which he was watching from the sidelines. Him and Fletcher Cox were recovering from COVID, so they were on the sidelines, and he just kind of came out and said, "Yeah, we didn't look good. We look like crap." And he talked about like the media hype. He said he doesn't believe in all the hype. He said usually when the media says we're going to be great, we suck. And usually when they say we're not going to be good, we're good. So he doesn't go off media hype. So yeah, no, I like. There's a lot of other stuff, a lot of bright sides on the defense. Goddard's played well. Goddard's got 10 catches and a touchdown on 13 targets. But yeah, again, passing beyond 10 yards has been, if you go look up the highlights, it's pretty disappointing. And he's just missing people. He's not seeing people, which I think is he did that last year. And another one thing I saw, I don't know who it was, but I saw basically a clip where they were at training camp, and he said he said, look, I love Jalen Hurts, but everyone preaches about his legendary work ethic and this and that, and that's why he's going to be great. He's like, but this guy's played the position for 7 years at a high level at Bama with great coaching for a while, and we haven't seen the passing improve drastically. And he's like, that's what worries me is like, we think all of a sudden this year he's got 1 full year in the NFL under his belt, and now he's going to be a great passer. And like he's had the work ethic, he's had good coaching. It's not like he went to some Division II school where he was just a standout. Like he's had weapons, and he got benched for Tua at Bama, as everyone knows. So
Yeah.
it scared me a little bit. But to be honest, no one really looked good. Carson Strong has kind of been a letdown. And then Gardner hasn't been great really either. So it's a little worrisome for me. But like I said, the defense has looked good. The defense is, and there's been players that stepped up. Davion Taylor, who I know you're a fan of, has played really well.
Yeah. Speaking of media hype, you mentioned media hype. I did see something today that the Eagles, they say the Eagles have the 7th best roster in football.
Yeah.
The 7th best. They ranked the Cowboys roster 16th. So, but the thing is, man, like the quarterback makes it go. You know, like look at my wife and I we were just at the park with our kids and we were talking about we're going to the Eagles and Browns game and I want to see Carson Strong. I want to see all those like late round guys. It's just gonna be fun to be there, even if it's preseason for me. But we were talking about I said we live in Ohio, we live in Dayton. We're about an hour from Cincinnati. So I said I'd even like to go to a Bengals game this year.
Yeah.
They started talking about Burrow. And you know, the quarterback's what makes it go. You know, they went out, they got Joe Burrow. Yes, he's talented, he plays the position well. But what's special about him, and I think Jalen has this too, he believes big. Big belief. Like that type of belief changes to get other people to believe.
Yeah.
You know, it changes locker rooms. So I'm hopeful in that regard with Jalen, but the 7th best roster in football, like the AFC is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
You got all those quarterbacks over there. I don't know who was ranked ahead of us, but I imagine most of them are in the AFC.
Yeah.
More than half that were in front of us. So it's gonna be a fun year, man. Every Eagles year is awesome. But anything you have to say about that? I've got an article pulled up where we've got some players like stock up, stock down. We can run through that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of my notes are probably going to cross over with yours, but Mac McCain, I saw some plays from him.
Corner.
I think he's got 2 picks. So right now they're basically just trying to fill out. It looks like unless he does, injuries or something, McPherson's probably going to lock up that 4 spot. And then Mac McCain seems to be moving in the right direction of that knocking up that 5th corner spot. No, I mean, I think it's been a lot of underthrowing is the biggest thing, which is what we saw last year. There were times where he'd have time in the pocket, and he would like not even step into throws and throw a deep ball and it's 5 yards underthrown. And it's like, man, you have the arm. Like he just couldn't find the touch. So talking about like the Burrow stuff is like Hurts has we've talked about. Hurts has everything we want, but maybe he just isn't a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like maybe he just doesn't have that. There's guys that just have the touch that can float the ball. Maybe they don't have the arm strength, but they're savvy and they learn how to work with, what they have. And I mean, I think Hurts could play in the league. I think he could play for sure. I just don't think for what we have with our roster, we're looking to win and win big. I don't know that we can do that with him because teams know how to defend him. Just spy him, the box, and he's going to have to throw it on us. It's frustrating, especially going out and getting a stud receiver, Devontae Smith, all this hype on Quez, which Quez has played well, but like we still aren't looking great in training camp. And again, it's training camp, but it is something, and we don't look good. And I don't think coaches come out and tell their team, hey, let's look bad in training camp so people don't know what's coming. Like that's not how it works. So now I think they're moving on to some closed practices where the media is not going to be in, fans aren't allowed in. So obviously we won't really know other than what Sirianni says, which Sirianni is going to say the same thing every coach says. Like, yeah, great day of practice, wrote a lot of bright spots and just keep looking to get better every day. Same thing. So we don't know. Yeah, you can go over your list. It's probably got a lot of stuff on here. I do have one red flag that I heard that you're not going to like, but we'll talk about that after we go on your stock up, stock down.
Okay. So I'll go stock up first.
Okay.
Stock up, Marcus Epps,
Yeah.
taking all the snaps with the first team. Big interception day one of camp off of Jalen Hurts. TJ Edwards, stock
Yeah.
up. They said he's been making plays in coverage. Davion Taylor. Taylor was the forgotten guy in the room. While Taylor's mostly been running with the twos, he's had some really impressive plays throughout the first 3 days. Had an interception off of a deflection, big pass breakup on Boston Scott. Dallas Goedert, stock up. Andre Chichere, I don't know how to say his last name, safety. Interceptions and back-to-back practices. Mac
Yeah.
McCain, stock up. We have 12 corners on the roster, so sometimes I wonder if their performance in training camp, like how much it matters.
Right.
Like what matters more, like their performance in training. Like I'm talking about undrafted or like late round guys. What matters more, their performance or their draft pedigree or how much guaranteed money they got?
Right.
Fortunately,
The guaranteed money is definitely going to fall in like play in effect. You're not going to throw a bunch of money and then look like a fool cutting him.
yeah, Miles Sanders stocks up. Trying to see what he said. He looks bigger and more explosive this summer. Broken off some impressive runs. Stock down, Kayvon Wallace. I feel like his stock's been down since he got here.
Yeah.
Devin Allen, the return guy. Carson Strong, which is disappointing for me. Zach Pascal. Don't
He's,
really.
he just hasn't played. Like he had food poisoning. He's missed all 3 days of training camp.
Okay, so
So it's like, yeah, stock's down, but like just bad timing.
last one was stock down. Milton Williams says he was the first injury of training camp.
Yeah.
So, what was your thing that I'm not gonna like?
So I watched a Jonathan Gannon interview, and after practice, they said Reddick looks to be flying off the ball, looks to be in great shape. Really going to help your pass rush. He's like, yeah, he's a really versatile player. He's doing really great in coverage as well. We like him in coverage. It's like, dude, he's a pass rusher. Just let him pass rush. We don't need him to cover. We have, we went and got Kazir White. Edwards is pretty solid in coverage. We have N'Kobe Dean. I don't want Hassan Reddick dropping into coverage. Like if it's here and there to do, like, you do like some type of stunt move where Reddick moves inside and then drops in, whatever. But I don't want him lined up outside when we know we have guys that can cover. And we want Reddick. I want Reddick rushing the ball. I want Reddick and Sweat on the ends. But we're also lining up. They said it was almost a 60-40 split on 3-4 and 4-3. So they're going to be running some type of multiple defense, which is fine. They said in the 3-4 they have Sweat and Reddick on the ends. And then they said they normally would put Milton Williams or Jordan Davis or something in the middle, but they had can't think of his name, Tia Topu or whatever. He was lined up at the nose tackle position often. But like we said, Fletcher Cox has been out, returning from COVID. Jordan Davis, they said every day at camp, Jordan Davis gets more impressive. Kelsey talked about him just being, a phenom, just a big monster. So, yeah, Kelsey said he impressed him before he even actually saw him on the field, just by his demeanor and his attitude towards camp and stuff like that. So, I'm fine running the splits, the 4-3, 3-4. I prefer a 4-3 with our D line, but I also like the versatility. If we can get guys breaks where we have, Jordan Davis and the nose tackle and then however we want to line it up. But I do like the versatility Reddick brings. I just don't want to see him drop into coverage a ton because we know what he's good at. It's the same thing we used to drop Brandon Graham into coverage.
He should rush the passer every single play.
Every snap he's on the field.
He should never drop into coverage once. I mean, what are you? And I'm not a professional X's and O's guy. How many guys get 22 sacks in 2 years in the NFL?
Right.
This many.
Yeah.
Why do we want him in coverage? Anybody can say, hey, you play some zone over here. hey, cover this running back out of the backfield. Like, that's not his strength. Like,
No.
maybe he's capable of it. I don't care. It's a less valuable attribute.
Yeah.
I don't care if you can play awesome zone coverage, bro. We paid you money to rush. So I like to think that Gannon is, they say he's a very intelligent guy. He's interviewed for head coaching jobs. He's on that list. Very intelligent. So I expect him to use him properly.
Yeah.
But I would call that, if you're dropping him in the coverage, I would call that getting cute. Like, don't get cute. Don't try. What are you gonna do? You're gonna trick people. Oh, he's not rushing. Oh my god! Like, that messed him up so bad. They dropped Reddick into coverage.
Right.
Let him rush.
Like we talked about with Dean being a blitzer, I like the idea of maybe lining him up and then, Dean blitzes and he drops the Dean spot where you get those quick little throws and, that's
Sure.
fine. Those plays work. That's maybe 10 times in the entire season. I don't want it to be he's 5 yards off the ball lined up as a linebacker. It's like, man, we don't know what Barnett's going to bring us. So far it's been, 2-4 sacks. We know Sweat's improving. We got him the big contract. Just line him up opposite of Sweat and just let him do what he does. And
Sweat's have high ceiling.
Yeah, and we like the amount of talent we have on our D line. I mean, imagine if we ran you could literally, if you ran Sweat, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Reddick, like it's going to be very, very difficult to stop that. Not to mention when those guys get tired, we have Barnett, Brandon Graham, Milton Williams. Like we have other guys that
Hargrave.
Yeah. I always forget about Hargrave. Javon Hargrave.
Hargrave's, a proven good pass rusher. Brandon Graham, you didn't mention. We got so many guys, bro.
Yeah.
I am so excited. I'm gonna buy a Jason Kelce jersey too. I only have a Brian Dawkins jersey. I'm real conservative about shit, so
I bought a Kelce jersey, but brought the wrong style.
What?
I bought a Kelce jersey, but it's like the wrong style. It's like almost on the field, so it's real wide. It's not one you want to wear. I tried to
get you want to get like the Nike. I don't know if it's called a Vapor Elite or something like that, but it fits like a slightly baggy T-shirt.
Yeah, which is what I want. I don't want to I'm not wearing pads on Sundays,
right?
So I don't, room. But no, I like to get a Kelce. I love Kelce, man. I love that he doesn't BS anybody. They asked him and he didn't. Yeah, we look like crap. He's like, I'll have to go watch the tape, but it didn't look good from over here.
And that's why I get so excited. You see my eyebrows go up when you said how he spoke about Jordan Davis, because dude, when he says something, it means something. It's not. He's not out here just saying whatever. He's running off at his mouth, saying this, saying that. Like when Kelce says something, I put a lot of value in that, and that's very exciting because when you hit on your first round pick, that's the first thing you want to do with a draft class. Like, man, let's just hit on that first round pick. And he used the word phenom, which physically at the combine, yes, he is.
It's obvious.
He's playing probably 350 at Georgia, 350 pounds. They're having him play at 320. Like when Kelce has seen that many D tackles in the league, he's been around the game so long. For him to say that's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
I'm confident. Like our offensive line, I haven't talked about this. The guy we took in the second round for a long time, the Nebraska center. I don't even remember his name.
Cam Jurgens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confident he's going to be a good player. He's just not going to take that away. And then the Kobe Dean, for the Eagles, it's hard for him to not be able to contribute to this team because we haven't put much assets in that position. And what he showed in college, it's hard for me to believe that he's not going to be a good player for us. So I'm just thinking, dude, that's why we did the first video we did. Best draft class ever.
Yeah. It's been the best one I've seen. And obviously we have to wait to see how it pans out. But if you're going off of just college hype, college tape alone, and what they've done, their draft pedigree, it's easily the best draft class we've seen. And we've been fans since 2000. 99, 2000, we've been watching pretty consistently. So it's been, it's a long time, and we usually don't see a lot of, drafting well. That's why when we drafted Devontae Smith, I was like, yeah, man, he's great, but we don't know how to draft receivers. We don't ever seem to develop receivers, so it's scary. But yeah, I mean, so far, man, I'm real happy with what I've seen. It seems like our players are getting open, but we're not hitting them or we're not seeing them. Seems like our defense has played really well and we have depth. Um, and if Mac McCain keeps playing like this, I mean, they seem to be, every time I read a new one, it's Mac McCain took the snaps, when Avonte Maddox came off the field or whoever, and he played well. So I think Josiah Scott might be the next guy up for that, between Mac McCain, Josiah Scott.
Look at a guy who I've always found very intriguing. I don't know his status right now. He might be injured. Tyree Jackson, tight end, quarterback to tight end.
On the pup list, unfortunately.
Dude,
so is
it's so fun to see out on the field, man. 6'7".
The monster, man.
Yeah, dude, he looks like a beast. Like he's like a small forward in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, just throw him the ball, man. I don't care if he can run a route. Like he can box people out. I'm excited about him. I hope he can stay on the field and actually. Hey, did you see anything on like Grant Caltera? Has he played at all?
I haven't seen anything on him. Trying to think of the pup list. There was like 3 guys, I think, on the pup list. 2 were tight ends with Tyree and I can't think of the other guy's name. I know Brett Toth is on
Nebraska.
It might be, but I don't think no, maybe it wasn't 2 tight ends. Brett Toth was on there, the lineman. He's on the pup list. There was another guy, I can't remember who it was. But I expected Tyree Jackson to probably be on the pup list the way they talked about it. So, but hopefully he's ready. A couple weeks into the season, I'd like to see him on the field with Goddard. But I do like the idea of Goddard being targeted a lot, which means they're thrown to the middle of the field this year, which we didn't do last year. But
anything with AJ Brown?
Yeah, so he's got 9 targets, 7 catches, and a touchdown in the 3 weeks. Devontae Smith's got 7 targets, 3 catches. Whether that was, I don't believe I heard anything about drops. So either just pass breaking, bad throwing. But yeah, the 2 big things I took away, man, our defenses look good. We look very versatile. We got, Davion Taylor's flashed quite a few times, and then Reddick has played really well. And then they talked highly of Bradbury. They said Bradbury seemed to kind of just mesh really, really quickly.
That's good.
So, yeah, other than that, man, I haven't really heard or seen a lot of stuff on AJ Brown other than the 9 targets, just what you could find statistically. I saw a few catches on tape, but nothing crazy.
Anybody that you're you have any like sleeper picks, like guys you're kind of excited about? Maybe not that will contribute this year, but maybe this year, maybe next year, maybe 2 years. You have anybody kind of like secretly interested in?
I think Quez is going to be a monster this year. I think he's going to be very hard to cover. I mean, because we know AJ Brown's going to get, shadowed a lot for teams that actually shadow. And then Devontae Smith can obviously see the number 2. So I think Quez is going to he's going to hurt some people this year. I think it might become like a safety net for Hurts, where he's just kind of rolling out the pocket and Quez is, running a drag route or whatever, just kind of running to him, just making a play. So I think Quez will be a spark for sure. I think TJ Edwards, the more and more stuff I read on TJ Edwards, the more versatile and more confident I am. So I think TJ Edwards is gonna be a flasher on our defense. I think he's gonna be solid, really help kind of anchor our defense down.
Yeah, TJ Edwards, he really could. He really could be an important piece. And I don't care. Like, I just want good linebacker play. I don't care who it is. But I secretly want it to be like Nakobe Dean and Davion Taylor. I think that's the best case scenario for like athletic standpoint.
Yeah.
But
I think it will though. I mean, we saw, like we said, a 60-40 split is what they said on a 3-4, 4-3. I think we're going to see a lot of linebacker play from all four of them. I just think TJ Edwards is going to probably be the most solid, I guess, most used guy as far as, which I'm not considering Reddick a linebacker. I understand, 3-4, he's considered a linebacker, but not really.
and
But
Nakobe Dean, he's playing.
He's practicing. I've seen him running around and stuff. Like you'll see, number 17 flash, and like he's running drills and stuff. As far as I know, he's in on like playing in on 11 on 11 and 7 on 7s. But yeah, I as far as I know, he's playing. But it's a lot of athleticism, man. I think if you just look at, like, I think Nakobe Dean is probably better than all of them. To be honest, like if you gave him the reps, we'd probably see him just grow tremendously throughout the season. But I think as of now, I think I have the most confidence in just putting TJ Edwards out there, and he can do his job. He's good in coverage, not as fast as everybody else. So you can be great in coverage and have good technique, but if the guy's, a half second faster than you at 40, like it's going to be hard to stay with him, no matter how good your technique is. So, but yeah, those are my two guys. I look for a big year from Quez, provided Hurts can get him the ball, and then Edwards to be a solid piece.
Yeah, so I agree with you on Quez. I mean, he should. He's got incredible speed, and he's going to be like the fourth option. So that's also, it's also, you could argue why he won't be valuable, right?
Yeah.
Because if AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert are our first three options, those are the guys we're game planning for. Those are the guys we need to get the ball to. And if they can't get open and we've got to throw the ball to Quez, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe he won't get very many targets, but I think he could be a breakout player. A guy I like, I've said before, just very, very little information, what I've seen on him, what I like, is Kyron Johnson.
Yeah.
6th round pick, man. I don't think it'll be this year because we got so many guys.
Right.
Hopefully he makes the team. Imagine he'll play special teams, but I'm excited about him, kind of like, under the radar, excited about him potentially being a good player. Maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now. I know a lot of fans are probably like, who gives a shit about 2 years from now, man? But I don't know. I just got a weird feeling about him. He ran
Right.
4.
Yeah.
So he's a good athlete. They're getting a lot of athleticism.
Yeah.
On the defense. So
they're very, very versatile, man, which I love. If we can run a 60-40 split on scheme, then you're athletic. Because there's a lot of teams that cannot do that. They can't switch back and forth because they don't they don't have the linebackers, or they don't have the pass rushers. If you don't have the pass rushers to switch, maybe you have linebackers. It just, you have to have both, or it doesn't work. And I think we definitely have depth.
Yeah, and you need a guy who can play like nose guard.
Yeah,
Jordan Davis.
have that.
That opens up, and he can. And what it's looking like, he's a guy that can play nose guard, or play in a 3-4 and rush the passer. Hopefully. So, any final thoughts or words before we close out episode 9, Ryan?
No, I think so. Everyone say a prayer that Jalen Hurts can throw the football this year, and I don't know, man. It makes me nervous because it's like and Kelsey's right. They hype us up, and then you turn out to not be very good, or they don't talk about you. They say, yeah, they're a weak team. They're not, and they're doing nothing but hyping us up this year. So I hope that they said that there's good chemistry between Hurts and AJ Brown, which there should be. They're apparently like really good friends. So hopefully that translates. And I don't know what it is, whether he can't throw very well or he just is in his head. He doesn't strike me as the type to be a mental case, but it's just simple things that he's doing wrong. Just like a simple out route, like where his footwork's great, and like he just looks like almost like he's like robotic up top. Like he'll twitch his arm, short arm it, whatever, or he'll just sail the ball. But underthrowing is the biggest issue I've seen. He doesn't put enough on it. And we know he has the arm strength. So yeah, that's kind of my final thought, man. It's just I'm hoping, man, because what the alternative is, what Gardner Minshew, and don't have a lot of confidence in that either. He's just kind of a gunslinger, good backup, good guy who can maybe keep your team afloat for a couple games. Yeah, that's kind of my idea. We've looked good. Offense looked good day one, but since then it's been defense driven. So
And we'll tell. Who do you think the Eagles will win more games with Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew?
Jalen,
Think
just
so.
because on the inside. Which I don't know, man. I like Gardner Minshew. I liked when we went and got him. I was like, that's a great backup to have. And he's also a guy, like, I kind of compare him to, like, I always say Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke, like these guys that come in and just a spark plug. And they're like, no one expected them to come in and, sling the ball and play well, but they just have heart. And not that Jalen doesn't have heart, but he's just a fiery kind of like wild card. So I would say Jalen, just because of the running aspect, he can run like he has, which Gardner's a decent runner. He's similar to like an Aaron Rodgers, extend plays, and he can run for a few. I'm not comparing Gardner Minshew to Aaron Rodgers, just his running ability and moving around. Because I think he's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, no, I would say
That'd be
Jalen.
sweet if Aaron Rodgers was our backup.
Yeah, I would take Aaron Rodgers as our
He can
backup.
teach Jalen stuff.
Yeah, or Jalen can teach him.
Yeah.
No, I would say Jalen. We probably win more games, but I could also be wrong, man. Gardner could come in and play phenomenal with what he has. It's a lot of weapons, and it's a great offensive line.
You think Gardner can throw the ball better than Jalen?
Yeah,
I do.
consistently, yeah. We've seen Gardner come out and like fire a rocket into triple coverage and get it picked, and like we've seen that. But that's what he kind of does. I mean, same thing we saw with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's not afraid, which I kind of like, man. If you have a good defense and you have weapons, I want you to sling the ball. I'd rather you sling the ball than play like Tyrod Taylor and, only throw 4 interceptions in the year, but you also only threw 16 touchdowns because you didn't take chances down the field. We have playmakers. We have to throw the ball. I would say Minshew's a better thrower for sure. But I'd be interested to see. But right now we're just putting our cards, all our cards in on Hurts and hoping for the best. Like I said, everything, but if you can't throw, you can't play quarterback. Like you can have great character and work ethic, but it's a business. So if he can't these guys in this offensive line, then I don't think he's going to be able to do it really anywhere. At least not this year.
Yeah, I agree, buddy. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching another episode of the Bird Brothers. We will be putting out 2 videos this week because I forgot to upload last week's. So we appreciate all the support. Sorry about my voice. I'm going to go get some tea with some honey, see if that helps. But guys, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to leave some comments, we encourage you to do that. And please like and subscribe. All right, see ya.